Men who unexpectedly lost interest in someone due to a weird reason. What was it? She claimed I cheated on her in a previous life. Despite our relationship already being terrible, my, wow, I think I actually hate this person, moment came at Badlands National Park. After we exited the gift shop, my girlfriend let the door slam into another woman's face. I apologized to the woman and then jokingly said to my girlfriend, "I can't believe you didn't hold the door for her, haha." She got angry and retorted, "Well, you're the man. You're supposed to hold the door. I don't need to hold the door for anybody." That comment was an eye-opener for me, leading to the easiest and least heartbreaking breakup I've ever had. I heard this from a family member about their coworker. The guy had been happily married with kids for years until he had a stroke. Sadly, it made him hate his wife and kids immediately, leading to a divorce. He also had a complete personality change at work. As a husband and father, this scenario really frightens me. She would let the door slam on people behind her instead of holding it open. She never did the thank you wave to cars that let her out, and she didn't say please or thank you to serving staff. It wasn't that she was outright rude, but she definitely had a self-centered attitude. I once lost interest when I discovered at the gym she constantly parked in the disabled spots. Who the fuck does that? It told me all I needed to know. Instead of talking to me directly about any problems we would have, she posted them publicly on her blog. So many people have a false idea of my character because she would lie about me on purpose to hurt me. Still have so much trauma from that relationship, and it's been way longer than I'd like to admit. She changed religion, by which I mean she went from being non-religious to becoming a Mormon because a dude on his mission stopped her on the street and she agreed to join. She spat in her hands and rubbed them together to wash them. I lost interest at lightning speed. She left the shopping cart in the middle of the parking lot instead of returning it. She stored rubbish like her Uber Eats orders in her TV cabinet and emptied it once a week when the bin truck came around. I dipped when cockroaches started multiplying. She said she kind of liked AIDS because it might make some people think twice about premarital sex and the gay. It's not weird that I stopped liking her. I stopped liking her because that was weird, right? This was in the 1990s, during the peak of AIDS deaths in America. Her younger sister had a less severe form of the religious baloney about homosexuality, but eventually learned to open her heart. She was never gleeful about people dying. I should have met the younger sister first. My cousin broke up with his ex because she was adamant that people were NPCs. That it didn't matter how she treated them, because the NPCs didn't have their own feelings or emotions, and they were there to tend to her whims. She was 19 at that time. I got woken up with a slap as I had apparently cheated on her in her dream. I couldn't be arsed dealing with that, so I left in the middle of the night. I started dating this girl and noticed she took very quick showers, barely cleaning herself. It seemed like she didn't enjoy showering, just standing under the water and quickly using soap. I never saw her properly wash her feet or anything. Additionally, her hygiene after using the bathroom wasn't great, and sometimes there were lingering odors during intimate moments. Hygiene really matters, and it's great when someone takes pride in caring for themselves. She used to talk about her ex so much that even I started missing him. It's happened a couple of times. They love to tickle me. I fucking hate being tickled, especially when someone pokes my side, under the ribs from behind when I'm not expecting it. Would not listen when I pleaded with them to not do that. Still did it after I told them I knocked a lad out at school when he did it years ago. He didn't do it out of malice. He was a friend. My reaction was to turn around and punch him. I hate being tickled. If those two women wouldn't listen to me saying no about tickling, they'd overstepped my boundaries. Sounds petty, but there are reasons I react like I do to this day, and I'm the other side of 50. Something about her reminded me about my mom. Couldn't put my finger on it. She was very religious. I'm not. One day, I came home to find her crying, like completely inconsolable, bawling her eyes out. I got so scared. I thought someone died or she was assaulted or something. Took me 10 or so minutes to calm her down so that she would talk to me. Want to know why she cried? She said, "I'm worried because when we die, I will go to heaven and you won't." I was single 45 minutes later. She can't SDF you. Constantly cuts people off, and after years of knowing her, she hasn't learned. I had to ask her out twice because she interrupted me mid. "Want to go on a date sometime?" She doesn't drink water. Post on social media too much. I don't know if that's weird or not though. She had a dream that I cheated on her and thought it was real. She started smoking and taking drugs. I once lost interest in a girl because she put ketchup on her pizza. Some things you just can't unsee. She hauled ass through an apartment complex and didn't slow down despite children playing close by. When I brought it up, she brushed it off. One reason was she was lying about stupid shit and stealing from me. Not exactly weird, but annoying and untrustworthy. But a reason some guys will think is weird is she was a total nymphomaniac, demanding it whenever she felt like it. I would come home from a hard day's work, sometimes 14-plus-hour shift, and I would fall asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. This would ignite a rage inside her and would instigate a huge argument because I wasn't fulfilling her needs. That and the extremely explicit dirty talk. I guess she learned it from watching porn, but it was totally off-putting. Probably most guys' idea of dream girl, but too much for me to handle. Every time I would stand close to her, I could smell piss. I thought maybe she was going through her periods or some UTI, but the smell was consistent for days and very strong. I just couldn't associate such a pretty face with such smell, so I backed out. Also, some people say I have a strong sense of smell, so that could be it as well. Her vagina smelt like the Great Depression, face vomiting, 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 face vomiting. She introduced me to her mom before we even went on our first date. I still took her out, but botched it as hard as I possibly could. Coupon for the meal, early bird price activity sort of thing. Both happened lulls. I had the opportunity to date a woman that was at least a September 10th. She was too needy, chatting me every time of the day, getting angry when she doesn't get a reply back ASAP, always wanting to know where I was at all day, wanting us to call essentially all the time. Girl was driving me nuts. She spoke very loud and I felt ashamed in people and was just annoying to it. She ate her peas one at a time. She was on the phone with her male friend from childhood who lived like 10 states away. Nothing sexual ever happened as told by many people. He just had the biggest crush on her. They were on the phone and she went to the bathroom as they were talking. Too weird for me. We were hammered at a bar in Prague. For a second, she looked just like my alcoholic aunt. That was enough. A person who talks too much, always interrupts others, and always thinks he is right. She dreamed that I was with another girl making out. Not just once, but 2 times a week. The sad part was she will wake up already angry with me and give me a smirk before sleeping. Bad sex. Finally decided to ask this woman I'd had a crush on for years, but wanted to make sure she was single. Looked up her book of faces profile. Turns out she's a horse girl. She threw a toddler tantrum when I wouldn't pull into a Starbucks and buy her drink as we drove by. I kept waiting to hear the magic word. It's not "you're a cheap asshole BTW." Her crazy ex-boyfriend who wouldn't leave her alone? Yeah, that was actually her husband.